it's Rob. Welcome to Axel's Garage. Got an update for you here on Ginger. We just got back from an 1,800 mile trip. Ginger's got 9,000 miles on already since we've gotten her, and I think we started using her in May. And it's early October now, 9,000 miles. 16.2 miles per gallon we're averaging, and that's through the mountains, traveling, and pretty happy with her so far. And he's got to start barking as soon as I start talking. So we just got back 1,800 miles. We're right about 3,000 miles. I do my oil changes every 3,000 miles because everyone, as soon as I turn the camera on. So, you know, a lot of people say go with synthetic and go longer on the oil change, or, you know, you change it at every, 5,000. I still 6,000 on these. I've had a ton of these GMT-800 series trucks, and I do it 3,000 miles. I try to use conventional oil if you can find it. It's even tough to find nowadays. So today, the flavor of the day is synthetic blend Super Tech from Walmart, because I can't seem to find 1030 in Rotella anywhere in any of the stores. 1030 conventional motor oil is getting tough to find, and when they get it in at Walmart or something like that, it sells out really fast. I've hit Walmarts from here to Lynchburg, where Robbie is, and even when we went to see Emily and Steven in North and South Carolina, same thing. Check those Walmarts, and I can never find the oil I want. When I do find the Rotella 1030, I buy a bunch of it. But we're gonna go with that. Filters, I like to go with an AC Delco actually, or a Wix. Either one. I love the Fram with the grippy stuff on the end of the filter. It's just that the Fram filters suck. I wish everybody else put that grippy stuff, grippy paint on the bottom of the filter. That's awesome. Because your hands get slippery, you tighten in the filter. Really for tightening, because taking it off, I use one of these. I started using one of these instead of a regular filter strap wrench. Getting them off, pretty simple. But getting them on when your hands are usually a little dirty, even if you wipe your hands off, they're a little oily. And that grippy thing is great on the Fram filter. It's just that the filters suck. So we got 9,000 miles on her. We've been changing the oil every 3,000, so we're hitting it now, 3,000. The only thing we've had to do to Ginger that we did off camera was we had a tire that had a small sidewall puncture that got a little bit bigger, and had to throw a tire on it, and all the tires were relatively new, so we had to go with the Falcon Wild Peak HT that was already on the other three, and it was an expensive tire. It was like $220 or something like that for the tire. But other than that, we haven't done anything, off camera even, other than washing it. It's filthy. Gonna change the oil. On these trucks, I rotate the tires every other oil change. Every 6,000 miles, I rotate the tires, go front to rear, and then take the fronts, cross them, and put them in the rear. And that's what I've always done on these GMT-800 trucks. And my tires have worn evenly, and I've gotten, knock wood, I've gotten a decent amount of time on the tires. So we're doing our third oil change at 9,000 miles. We got 178 and 75 miles. So 178,075 miles. I've had it running for about 5 minutes just to get the oil hot and get all the contaminants, suspended in the oil, so you get a nice good drain. And we're gonna get to it. Baby mama's been really happy with this, so much so that she actually has been driving it a little too much and neglecting her IROC, because she's been driving this because she really likes it. It sort of feels like the old one that she had that we got rid of, and she was pissed that we got rid of it. But we were trying to downsize, then realizing downsizing doesn't work for us, that we need something big because we're always carrying a ton of shit. But we had it loaded up this past weekend. We brought a refrigerator down to Lynchburg. Then from Lynchburg, we went to South Carolina to see Emily. And from South Carolina to see Emily, we went to North Carolina to see the little Big Dummy. And then we went back to Lynchburg, dropped off the Big Dummy, and then came back home, 1,800 miles, ran like a top. All right, so we just brought it up to operating temperature, 5-10 minutes running. It's probably about 10 minutes it was running. You know, the drawback is, of course, everything's hot now, but the added benefit is the contaminants are suspended in the oil. You got it circulating, get the oil hot, and you get a nice drain on it. The oil will come out a lot faster, will come out a lot hotter. There's hot exhaust, so you need to be a little careful when you do that. That's just the way I was taught, and that's why I do it that way. Even though I've had these trucks, so many of them over the years, I can never remember. It's age. I can never remember what size, so I grab a 15, 16, and a 17, and I think I'm good. It's one of those three. I'll let you know once I come back out from under. And then my oil filter wrench. I'll link this in the description below. It's absolutely, I never used one up until this past 8 months or so, and I love it. It grabs the oil filter nice. It's a lot easier than the old strap wrenches or the cup wrench. Or I just like it. It's nice and easy. So let me get under. I'll start the oil draining out, and I'll let you know what size that wrench is. Well, it's a 15. I don't know why 17 is in my head all the time with these, but it's a 15. It's always a 15. It's a 15 on all of them. But for some reason, I always think 17. There was one truck that we had that was 17, and it screws me up. That one truck is screwing me up. So I got the oil draining. What I like to do, you know, you got to jack them up just a little bit. You know, these that are at normal height, it's a little tight, so you got to jack them up a little bit. But by jacking them up a little bit, it's leaning towards the drain plug. So you do get a nice good drain, especially when the oil's hot. So I pull that drain plug out and let it sit, and I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee, shut the dog up, and give it a good drain. Give it that extra 5 minutes so that it's not even dripping anymore, and you know you got a real good drain. That's just the way I like to do it. Well, I went and had a cup of coffee, quieted the dog down, which now it seems like this idiot howls when the airplanes fly over, and it seems like we got steady traffic going right over the house today, which means that there's something going on, usually like at the tennis center, City Field. Depending on what's going on in the city, they adjust the flights a little bit. Usually if it's like the Mets playing, they swing over, and they only swing over like they're always going to come through my area, but not always over the house. So anyway, the hack. If you have a wife, like my wife, we have these everywhere. She gets iced coffees from Dunkin' Donuts or from wherever you might go to, depending on where you live, and then she brings the cups home, and she saves the cups, the lids, and the straws to make her own drinks at home, to take them to go. This way she could throw them out somewhere. We got like a stack of these on the kitchen counter, and these are big ones, so they're good for bigger filters like this. Yeah, the filter fits over it like that. Or if you have like a small filter, like on this truck, it's got a small filter, a red Solo cup works well also. See how it fits in there. And what this is, you know, you make the mess when you take the filter off, because then you got all that oil that comes out. So the theory behind it, and I've never done it, I'm trying it for the first time. You can follow along with me. I'm going to bring the camera onto the truck. The theory is you break the filter loose with the wrench, and then you put this over the filter. It's catching the oil that's spinning out, and you can squeeze the side of the cup to grab the filter, to spin the filter the rest of the way off, and the oil goes into the cup rather than all over your hands and running down your thing. So we're going to try it. Like I said, I've never done it. This is a Motorcraft filter for one of the XJs. I actually like Motorcraft filters too. Better than Fram. And if I can't get a Wix, then I go AC Delco, Motorcraft, and I'm happy. Actually, I think the Motorcraft are a little nicer than the AC Delco, but I actually had a case of these that go on the 5.3 Chevys. So let me grab the camera, and we'll go under, and we'll get a light, and we'll see if this hack really works. Alright, so you can see just grabbing it with the wrench here. Alright, now the oil's starting to come down the sides, and we should be able to Solo cup. Of course, the horseman is in the way. Let's see what happens. You know what? Why don't I let it drip into the pan? Now, and unscrew it the rest of the way. I guess if the solo cup was a little shorter, this would work better. But with that cross member right under the oil filter, making it a little difficult. I don't know if I'm a big fan of this hack. I mean, my hands are clean, but this solo cup really doesn't fit well. Maybe on a different vehicle it might work better. Nope. Well, at least it fell into my catch basin. Definitely not a fan of that method. I don't know, would it have worked if I had, you know, perfect clearance? Maybe. But I still got a hands full of oil. So I'm gonna call that a semi-fail. And reaching up here, what do we have? The gasket, which seems to be common. I found it to be more common with the AC Ductco filters that the gasket gets stuck on there. So I'm going to wipe my splashes up. I'm going to wipe down my filter sealing surface and anywhere else where I splash some oil. I don't know, maybe if this cross member wasn't here, it would have been easy to do, because you could have went straight up and spun it off. I'm going to hear the dog. He's howling because of the engine noise from the airplane. See, now the airplane goes away, he stops howling. What a weirdo. Alright, so with my drain plug tight, my new filter in, yes, I did pre-fill it. A lot of people say you don't need to refill them, but I do refill it. Why? That's the way I was taught, the way I've always done it. So I pre-fill it. See, now this is where Fram has it right, because it's tough to grab the filter. So you come along here, and it's just a pain in the ass to grab the filter even with clean hands. Alright, tighten that filter down hand tight. I did pre-fill it, I did put a little oil on the seal, and we're good to go. Everything underneath here looks nice, and we'll go fill it up. So like I said, we used a 1030 synthetic blend Super Tech from Walmart. The nice thing that they started doing, Walmart oil, is they started putting a seal under the cap on top of the oil, which is nice because if you're anything like me and you wind up leaving the oil in the back of your truck for 2 weeks before you bring it in the house and it falls over and leaks, now they don't leak anymore. These trucks take almost 6 quarts with the filter. I don't know what the exact quantity is. So I filled the filter with oil. I'll dump this in and I'll let that settle to the oil pan. Start it up, let it circulate for a minute or two, and then check it. It's just a little under a quart. So because the 1030 is so hard to come by these days, and that I have plenty on the shelf, 1540, whether it's Rotella or Dello, or I got a ton of 1540. The last quart, I'll throw in some 1540. You know, a truck with 170, 180,000 miles on it, you know, you can go a little thicker than the 1030 and it will all matter. And we are full. 530 truck anyway, right? 530. It's a 530 truck. Once they go 150,000 miles with 1030 in them, really doesn't matter. 530, 1030. And that's it. Oil is done. Now I can do a quick rotate of the tires and wash it off for the baby mama so that she has a clean truck to drive this week. What do you think of the hack? That's what I think of the hack. Would it have worked better if I didn't have a cross member in the way? Yeah, so I guess maybe on one of the small block cars, you know, the Camaro or the Chevelle or something where it's a straight run up at the filter, it might work. I'll try it. I'm not really convinced on it, you know. But anyway, that is it today from Axel's Garage, a little Ginger update. She's running good, other than getting dirty and a lot of miles. Knock wood, haven't had a problem. See you on the next video, and as always, thanks for watching.